Okay. Yes, now I'm recording. So we have this project, and I'm going to show where is the type definition for this project. And here you can see that this is a POC project. So
Anton, Anton, sorry to interrupt. Which item is this on our action item listing that we discussed?
uh, Jerry, can you please repeat? What do you mean action I? You mean our list of issues or what?
Yes, yes, from yesterday, just to make sure that we're
Uh-huh.
talking about.
So I'm going just to explain project accounting in general, and then I mean from the purchasing till the receivable invoice.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
all right.
And then maybe in
I think it's better this way, Jerry. It's difficult to make decision without without having a slightest idea of what it looks like.
Right, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure we were following some sort of guideline to go through. That's all.
Okay, so here we can see that this is POC project, and also so maybe next week I will complete accounting cycle for COC project. So I will took a second project with a COC type, and will show or will send a screenshot transactions for COC. Yeah, so this is a project responsibility, and now I can close it. So if we take a look at the Word file with accounting, you can see that for this project I made PO delivery, then issue resources to the job, complete the job, issue where is it? Issue material to the job as well, close, complete and close this job, then ship this item against the sales order, and then in a project model I recognize revenue and COGS and issue final invoice to a customer. So this is a scenario. So what do you think? Would it be okay for you, Maria and Vika?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So now I'm going to open a purchasing responsibility and try to find my transactions here. Okay, I have file, and the purchase number is x86. So here is a purchase order, and this purchase order is about buying a steel. So here you can see that we have a steel. I've got some Excel sheet here, and scenario consists of two work orders. First work orders is for sub-assembly, and this is part number of sub-assembly. And this part number is being issued to a top work order. Here is the part number, and this is the final finished goods. So these three items are in this purchase order. And if we take a look at the shipments of these and distribution, we can see that here this project tab, and we see a project number and the task number. So it means this item hard pegged to this project and this task. So now we can take a look at the material transaction. I change responsibility to a cost accountant, because in a cost accountant responsibility we are able to see accounting these transactions. Okay, so it was some time ago. Source type is purchase order. Yes, and here's 3 pure receipt transactions against this purchase order. And we can see that here we have a locator tied to a project and task.
Anton, and remind me, project I understand, and task, what is task associated with?
So project consists of task, and we can handle it differently, but now I guess we have just only one task. This is our rig. But as Marilee said, they could be divided or broke down to like a sub-assemblies of rig, like a mast, drilling mechanism, and so on.
Yeah, they can be like different billing events, or different ways you want to break up the project based on the work breakdown structure.
Thanks.
So in terms of inventory transactions and warehouse guys, so now in non-project environment, they just receive these items to the stock locator without any project and task. And after we have a project in place, they should populate project number and task number at the time of receiving, because this is part of locator identificator.
Yeah, and just to make note on that, it's very important to make sure that in order to drive stuff through the projects, that we use a project and task locator and not a regular one. Otherwise, when we transfer cost, it won't transfer over to the project.
Yes, and now
and that's for the warehouse, Jerry. Yes, they need to be trained to pick up the project locator.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, so at the time of receiving, they have like a report by the name expecting receipts, and in this this is open PO lines. And as I showed just before, buyers should enter project and task in PO lines. And after that, Dmitry Kurapov will see in the expecting receipts report what is the project number and what is the task number. Okay, so and now I'm going to explain a very important thing, and this is accounting and when these receipts charge the project. So here is the distribution, and distribution is like pre-accounting for this financial event. And here is tools and view accounting events. And here we see subledger accounting entries, and this is a final accounting. And here we can see primary entries here. And here is US GAAP entries here. And what I would like to talk about, I'd like to talk about the inventory valuation account first. So where is the type? Yeah. So here is the inventory valuation account. This is the first string. Second line is the receiving, and the last one is a PPV. And if we so once we populate task and project and task in a receiving locator, so it means that we at this time we charge this receipt to a project. So if we buy something for a project and we put it into the locator with a project and task, then it means it's debited project VIP. How to say it? VIP project account.
VIP project account. So basically, although the inventory can still be on the shelf as opposed to be in production.
Yes.
From accounting standpoint, it's hitting the VIP account, but with a special project type.
Yes, yes. And
Correct.
I think we need to discuss it because as per Russian statutory requirement, it should be put it on, we should put it on the inventory valuation. Yes.
Correct. On inventory. Definitely.
Right. So when
Well, and the question, Maria, I guess, is, you know, as it relates to statutory requirements, seems as how we are hard pegging and not just receiving stuff in and then consuming it as we need it. It's already going to be technically consumed because we bought it for that project. Is that right to put it into an inventory valuation account rather than project WIP?
100%. We only can write it, well, the valuation of WIP account should include items which have been, well, run into production. It can't include items which are lying on the shelves.
Okay.
And they can be material, since the rig is has a long manufacturing cycle. Theoretically, well, lying on the shelf period can be for 6 months. So from valuation account, we can have inventory lying on the shelf being valued at VIP just because it's attached to this project.
Okay. I guess that one of my concerns is as we do POC accounting, if we go that route, to recognize revenue on a monthly basis, the cost actually gets relieved out of, you know, the PA WIP. So that might be something we'll just need to figure out, I guess.
PA WIP, project account. So I mean,
project accounting.
You want to say that revenue is recognized that well, from project accounting perspective, it will recognize these costs already as VIP, so it will proportionally recognize, well, the proportion to revenue recognition will be the same.
What do you mean be the same?
Well, it will take this project VIP value in order to determine proportion to which we recognize revenue. So I mean, it will treat it as VIP cost ultimately, not as part of inventory.
Right. Yeah, and I guess as long as, you know, as long as everything's hard pegged and we're driving everything's associated with a project, I guess it, you know, we'll just have to look at maybe changing the logic or something like that instead of looking at project with the inventory valuation.
Changing the accounts basically.
Yeah, but there is, I mean, but with POC accounting, there's some logic that derives the revenue amount based on the cost percentage. So
understand, and for cost percentage, you will take the VIP, well, the project VIP value, and that's what where the question you are having. I understand. Let's go through the stream and then we can discuss specific issues.
Sure.
Okay, and what else I would like to mention that in the distribution we can have one accounting. I mean some accounts, but in subledger accounting and the general ledger we can have a different account, because currently we configure SLA in order to pick product line accounting. I mean account assigned to item categories. And that is why here in the P&L segment we have M11. It's a category for raw material. And here we have not VIP project accounting account, but we have an inventory valuation account.
I see.
So this is a subject to discuss. We go. What is our VIP project account? Will it be inventory valuation, or is it VIP project accounting in a primary ledger? And based on a mapping between a primary chart of account and a US GAAP ledger, a US GAAP chart of account. Here we have in GAAP, we have account mapped from primary to secondary. So it is inventory valuation as well.
But is it well? Forget about the like primary ledger for a second. The account you picked up for US GAAP, that's based on the current mapping, correct?
Yes.
But let's just forget about the current mapping. What account, if GAAP was the primary ledger, what account will be here, Jerry? It will be VIP account instead of VIP project account instead of inventory, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So in GAAP, for pure delivery, we will have this accounting. So it would be receiving an inspection on a credit, and it would be a VIP project accounting on a debit.
Мне неудобно, Виталий, у меня кол.
Can you see this file? I sent it to you yesterday.
Yes, I see.
Okay, so moving on. And what else I would like to show, that here is a field by the name transfer to projects. And if we see here yes, it means this transaction charged to a project. And I'm going to show how does it look like. So I need a transaction ID. Here is, for example, this transaction ID. Okay, I copy it, and now I change responsibility to projects. Project accounting, yes. And here is the expenditure inquiry form, project number, this one. Okay. Yeah. So here we have all expenses transferred to this particular project. And we have a different type of expenditure or expenses. It could be work in process inventory or some other kind of expenditures.
Can I ask a question? And sorry if I'm running a little bit back. So is there a distinction between of some sort between inventory, well, received at the locator, which we just discussed,
yes,
and when actually inventory, well, goes into sub-assembly, goes into the real work in process?
Yes, I will.
Transaction distinguishing that moment?
In project, no. In the inventory and cost accounting and in the primary ledger and secondary, yes, but not in project.
So in project, I mean, as soon as we received it at receiving inspection, it treats it as VIP, and that's the end of the story. It doesn't see the further movement from locator to production.
Right. Yes.
Okay, clear.
And now I think I can try to find, based on this transaction ID, can find this transaction here. Yes, and we see that here we have material and here we have a PPV, right? So and if we open some details for this line, it could be a number of types of details, but now I'm looking for a cost distribution lines. And we see that, okay, so this is a PPV. Yes, it was a PPV, but I'd like to show material. So here we see the same accounting as in distribution. So on the credit we have receiving and inspection, and on debit we have VIP project accounting.
Clear.
Okay, and for PPV accounts remain the same. So we have 15 and 16 accounts here. This is PPV and this is receiving as well. Okay, so this is all about purchasing, and now we're going to
Anton, and when you were showing expenditure inquiry, you have like inventory type, but you also have a VIP type and labor type. So,
yes, sure.
So work in progress, what it will be?
It would be a resource absorption, and this is our next step. So I'm going to show it just in the 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. So what we have for now? VIP absorption, VIP completion. Okay. So then, okay, I can go to my bill of material. So we purchased all these 3 items and put it in a project locator, and currently it is sitting in a stock. And now we're going to issue these 3 items to a work order. This is a work order number. And also we are going to absorb some hours for a resource into this project. So the best way to show it, I guess, it's a material and resource transaction. And I'm going to cost account and responsibility and try to query material transaction first. Okay, so now we see that we have 4 issues and we have 1 completion. So issue, it means when we issue a component to the job, and completion, it means receiving subassembly in stock. So, for example, first VIP issue, we have a distribution here, and you can see that we have a VIP project accounting on a debit and on a credit side. So account is the same, right? Because on inventory valuation we have VIP project accounting, and in VIP accounting class we have a VIP project accounting as well. So in terms from a project perspective, we charge this material at the time of receiving, and when we issue this material to the job, for project it means nothing.
I can see this.
But on subledger accounting and transaction in the general ledger, we have a different accounting. Where is it? Okay, not here, but here. Yeah, I'd like to show you accounting, not accounting units. So in primary, we still have inventory valuation on credit and standard VIP on debit. But in the distribution, we have different account, as I showed just 1 second ago. So, and for VIP completion, okay, I can show VIP completion right away, and after I can show VIP absorption. Okay.
And when in distribution, you mean in project we see different accounts?
Yes, in project, but so distribution in inventory or cost management is like a pre-accounting, and SLA accounting is based on distribution, but we can override these accounts. That is why we see in distribution 1 account, and in subledger in SLA entries we can see different accounts.
And how that is achieved, distribution is preliminary account. How
Yes.
Subledger knows, like here it's the same accounts. How Subledger knows that to pick up different accounts?
So this is a Subledger accounting configuration. So there is item. So there is a part number. This item has an item category, and item category tied to inventory valuation account. So if you want, I can show it.
Determining it from some other factors.
Yes, yes. So it depends on transaction type, it depends on item category, and so on.
Хорошо.
And VIP completion has the same accounting. So each line.
So it's also project neutral accounting.
Yeah. And now you can see that these transactions, VIP issue and VIP completion, are not applicable to transfer to projects.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. And so the last one is resource transactions. Try to here. And for resource transaction, we have where is the type? Okay, here type. We have resource transaction. It means resource absorption, and it is tied to project, and it is transferred to project, because a resource is something new to project, and we charge this transaction to project at the time of issue resource to the job.
So from that perspective, project accounting, from labor resource transaction, the project accounting and the subledger accounting are the same.
Well, let's see. So here is the distribution for resource transaction, and we have VIP and resource absorption, right? And tools view accounting events. Let me check. Yes, this is the same. You are right. Yeah, this is the same. And also, I closed this job, and that is why we have job close variances here. Job close variance, and this job close variance is not applicable to transfer to project.
Okay.
Right, and
why is that? Because project is only interested in standard costing.
Because
well, it depends on how you set it up. There's some locations that want all the variances and everything there, and then others that don't.
So it's
mainly
it's
for
the
reporting.
It's the setup.
Yeah, and the what else? Yes, and for job close variance, we have here we have a standard VIP, and here we have VIP contra account, I guess. Yes, this is a VIP contra account. So all job close variances are written off to a VIP contra account. This is a new account in a project environment, and we didn't work with this account before, and I think we need to discuss this account as well. But maybe after we complete the whole cycle of accounting.
Anton, but well, I thought that if you say that job close variance is not transferred to project, yes, the VIP contra account, you show distribution for the project. I'm confused with this one.
So let me explain it this way. So I don't know, maybe Jerry can help me, or Jimmy, but VIP project accounting is like the whole cost of a project. And VIP contra is the standard cost of finished goods we shipped.
Yeah, so one big confusion that a lot of people have when we start introducing projects is you've got the projects module, and then you've got, you know, your GL accounts for, you know, your project accounting WIP and your contra WIP. So the projects module is just capturing costs that are being sent over. But from the GL perspective, you've got the project WIP and the contra WIP. And these two accounts are used for the POC accounting. So when, on a monthly basis, when you're recognizing revenue, it's alleviating the PA WIP, but you're still collecting all the costs in the contra WIP, so that when the actual product is shipped, it will zero out contra WIP instead of hitting your cost of goods sold again, because you've already, of course, accounted for it.
And Maria, I think...
Does that make sense?
I think we need to go through all these numbers on all these transactions and make these calculations manually, and after that the understanding will come.
Okay.
Right. So I close this one. So what we have in our scenario, we have we have a completed sub-assembly here, and absolutely the same transactions we have for assembly work order. And after that, we are going to ship these finished goods received on stock, and I can show a sales order for this. Management, yes. And the sales order number is this one. Okay, so here is a sales order, and we have a customer and other attributes here. We have lines. And so first line is cancelled, so that's I was working with the second line, and this is the part number of a rig actually. And I'm going to show material transaction for shipping. Here. So we have two transactions for picking. Picking, it means we are going. So before we ship, we need to pick the item at the stage, and then we can issue it to a customer. So picking is just like a sub-inventory transfer from the rig yard to, I don't know, some other stage. And the sales order issue is a transaction when we're going to reduce our stock. And the distribution for this look the same, look this way. So we have our VIP project accounting on a debit, because we issue this out of project, I guess, and we have how we can say it in transito, deferred COGS on a debit side. And currently I use a 45 account for this, and we can discuss what the final account should be here.
So Well, 45 is and why 45, Anton, not 43? А почему не готовая продукция?
Мгм.
45 это же товары отгруженные.
Да, а 43 это готовая продукция, да?
По-моему, да, 43-й готовая продукция. Тебе нужно сначала, как бы в любом случае, даже если ты, как бы, тебе нужно сначала сделать выпуск готовой продукции, а затем уже ее отгрузить на 45-й.
А,
Ты один шаг потерял.
ну да, вот он просто будет еще, просто я его, да, он как бы не потерялся, просто не тот счет указал, а шаг этот еще будет, окей. Тогда это, ну то есть это я поменяю.
Мгм.
So then in the next scenario, next week I can change this account to 43 and it should be okay.
It first needs to be 43, like the issue, well, the issue of the goods, and then the issue of the ready to ship goods, and then only it has to be credit 43, then debit 45, 43rd cost, like
Okay.
could be just one extra step.
Okay. So this is the shipping and the accounting I can show here. We should have the same accounting here. Yeah, so 45 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
And in US GAAP we have these accounts.
So in US GAAP we have deferred cost, deferred cost.
I can show here. So these accounts are based on primary accounts. So if we change a primary account to 43, then there would be a different account.
Mm-hmm.
And these transactions are not applicable to project because COGS and revenue are not recognized yet. Okay. Now I'm going to show revenue and COGS recognition in a project model. So if we don't have projects, then we can recognize revenue in receivable and recognize COGS against this revenue and just issue invoice to a customer. But if we have
that's for the COC type.
Yes, and if we have a POC or COC projects, then these revenue and COGS recognition should be done in a projects model by
So
creating.
if we have COC project, then we still use project model, but we can we will recognize revenue and cost of goods sold under the subledger accounting, but through the AR model. But if we have POC, it goes through the project model.
I think if we have a project shipping, then both type of project and recognition we should have in a projects model. Because
Is that correct? I mean, if we use a project model, then both types are still run through the project model.
Yes, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the difference, the only difference between the POC and the COC is when you're recognizing revenue. So the POC will be on a more of a monthly basis, and the COC is more of your typical how you would think went upon shipment.
Okay, thanks.
Expenditure revenue review here. So I'm entering the project number, and I'm going to show the event of revenue recognition. On a monthly basis, I guess, or maybe on weekly basis, we should run a project request for a POC project, which gives us POC revenue recognition events. and based on attribute of projects and contracts. And I'm going to show the event. This is a revenue, but I'm going to show the event. This is a different form. Let me check. Oh, this is in project billing. Yes. So here, just a second. Here we have a couple of events, and first event is POC revenue, and I can open it and see that. So this event was created automatically. This is you can see that this is POC auto revenue. And it says that currently project POC percentage is 81%.
Jerry, and can there be a situation when we bill the customer according to the contract, but we don't recognize revenue, POC revenue at the same time, or is it if we bill the customer, we will always recognize it as revenue at the same point?
If you bill the customer, or?
Well, the contract can provide for various billing schedule, yes?
Right.
They will various billing events. My question is in theory, yes? If we issue invoice, if the billing milestone happen, we issue invoice. Is it always that we recognize the revenue within the same event, or we can bill the customer, but we can put this revenue to deferred, for example?
Right. Yeah, there is definitely a difference between your revenue recognition on a monthly basis for POC and when you bill the customer, and that's
different. That's different events.
Yes.
Yes, and you can see. Yes, and you can see here. Here is a revenue event, and here is how to say it.
Payment milestone.
Yes, bill event. Yes. And can open it here, and accounting not here. Okay, let me check where is the revenue, and not here. Okay, I should change the form in order to show the accounting. Don't remember, it's in revenue review, I guess.
Guys, I'm so sorry I'm so late to this call. I set my alarm for PM instead of AM.
Hope to have a nice sleep. Nice long.
Yes.
You're lucky, Marilyn. Yeah, I think.
I just I don't do that very often, but this morning was. I did look at your screenshots, Anton. You they look good on the Gap side. Are you guys Mick? I'm talking on the phone. Are you guys talking through the billing now? Is that where you're at? Okay.
Yeah, so we went through purchasing, through manufacturing and the shipping, and now we are in a project model, and there is a revenue POC revenue event and bill event.
Okay. Yeah, the screenshots looked good on the Gap side for those that you guys already walked through. Is everything okay on the statutory side?
Well, the only query I have is on the job close variance, but others look fine. Yes.
Okay, great.
And here we can see that this is how to say it, unbilled receivable, and this account is on a debit side, and when we issue a final invoice to a customer, it would be on a credit side, and final receivable will be on a debit. I will show it later. And here we have
It can be like 76 account as well. Yes, Anton.
Yes, it could be 76. Yes. Yeah. This is a good a good message. I should change it to a 76, right?
Yeah, I think it will be less confusing because
Mm-hmm.
62 it's really a receivable account.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Because on payables, for example, we have unvouchered payables, and this is a 60, not 76. But if you like, I can change it to 76.
I think the auditors at your presence, yes, I think they've set 76 like
70, okay. Okay, no problem. I will change it. And on credit side here, on the revenue, we have revenue capital sales POC.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have a job number. This is a project number.
Mm-hmm.
So after revenue, or not revenue, but I would say, yeah, revenue and COGS recognized. I can show. Yeah, this is here. Here event. We have a second event for billing for draft invoice. Where is the event type?
Mm-hmm.
Here. So in
Hey guys, I'll be dropping off, so I'll catch up a little bit later. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Okay. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
So in the revenue event, we have a revenue amount and bill amount was 0. And here we have vice versa. We have a bill amount and revenue amount is 0. And I'm going to show the invoice review. And here we can see accounting entries. So this is a draft invoice in a project model, and we can print a draft version here. Sorry, it's a view request. It is running. Okay, view output, and here we can see that budget we have this amount, and currently revenue little bit less. So this is just a general information about this this event, and okay. And accounting entries are in receivables model. I can switch my responsibility to a receivable and find this invoice in a receivable model.
But it was pushed to receivable model from project.
Automatically from, yes, it was imported from project to receivable. Reference number is a project number. I put this number here. GL date is the 2nd of December. And we can see project final receivables project here. Here is a lines. And this is our revenue. And I can show distribution here. So we have on receivable, we have a final receivable accounts receivable 62, and on a revenue side we have unbilled receivable.
Well, yeah, I think it definitely will look better if you have 76. It will be less confusing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And Maria, I'm sorry, what account is 76?
It's also AP. It's also AP, just used for other AP transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I guess this is it. What I was ready to show for today.
Well, it looks good from what I can see. And on as I say, I think I still confused with job close variants. Maybe if I go just through all your entries with the example on the Word document, I will
Yes.
just clear it.
Yes, I try to create some Excel spreadsheet maybe and show all numbers and all counting, just not as a screenshot, but just on a table, in a table.
Yeah, I will look through them because I think the VIP Contra account is the one with the job close variance, the one that confused me. Everything else looks pretty clear.
Okay. So I will prepare this spreadsheet maybe next week. I believe Monday maybe.
Well, Vika, what about you?
Now looks 50% clear, I would say.
50%.
How many?
50? 50, Anton. You have to improve. 50% clear.
No, I mean the training the basic training you made is okay, but maybe everything is going to be fully clear when we will work with the projects.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think we also will work through the we'll work through the GIL accounting stream, and we either will be totally clear or we'll come back with a question.
Okay.
So maybe I see we're recording this call. Would it be possible to get for me to be able to go back and listen to it this afternoon, and then that way I'm totally up to speed on what you guys discussed this morning?
Yes, Marily, sure. I can send it to you, but I think the size of the file will be huge. So I don't know. Maybe we need to use some shared drive or something.
Okay, I'm sure we can find a shared drive where we both have access.
Okay.
This all, I guess I can type up, Ramsey, I talked with him a little bit yesterday, asked to type up like all the scenarios we'd like to see. I think this is a great start. One of the, covers a lot of it. I think the next thing that I would like to see, that I'm sure Maria and Vika would as well, are the report outputs, for like the expenditures report, so they can see all the impacts of the costs incurred, and then also like the project task details, maybe the project schedule report. I don't know if those are already configured, and that's as easy as running the report based on what you guys the testing you've done today, but I would like to see those, and then also the project schedule, or the subledger report.
Yeah,
I mean,
we can run all those, because we actually did that as part of our test for the initial smoke test. So and everything looked all right except for the executive report.
Okay, so if we can run those I assume are all based in the statutory. So we need to understand how we're going to look at those from a GAAP perspective, because we'll need those are the reports we use for tie-outs and reconciliations, and they're
Well, yes, and the area, Anton, the area we didn't discuss, and maybe again it's in the entries, I have not seen it, for material, well, for instance, for materials, yes, how, I mean, we discussed previously yesterday that, we need to move, move the variances from one cost station to another. What you've shown today basically described that a lot of instances from the project perspective, a lot of transactions from the project perspective are neutral. Yes, like we discussed that, for example, the issue of materials like from inventory to to production is project neutral transaction. And we know that for primary, yes, we want like transaction to happen on the variance side, like variances need to leave the account 16 and go to 20th account somewhere. On this material issue. So now my question to you, just because material is linked to the project, would you be able to do it? It would be great if we can like see this part as well. Because also for intercompany, like for intercompany pieces, yes, which we buy intercompany, these variances would be would be inter-unit markup as well. So it will be also interesting for Merrily to see.
Yeah, I think that's the program we were talking about yesterday where in theory the intercompany PPV should be backed out. Because to your point, it's markup, it's not really PPV. So we don't want it. I think on both sides we don't want it associated with cost incurred. I think the other thing, and maybe we can schedule a follow-up meeting to talk about it, when we look at the expenditures report, can we talk through the options they'll have or that we have set up today for expenditures and what each of those do and what the accounting that it drives. And then I think that will lead our discussion to things that should be included for statutory but that need to be excluded for GAAP. Like the variances. I think maybe the expenditures, talking at it from an expenditures point of view, it's a little easier for me to make sure we've got everything covered. Anton, Jerry, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah,
I think
that's exactly
them
what
see
came
the
up
flow.
earlier. Yeah.
You guys talked through that earlier?
A little bit, yeah, because she was asking about like job flows variances and things like that and how it interacts with the projects module itself versus transactions going through your normal operational GL accounts and stuff. So.
Yeah, I think from when I've trained project accountants in the past, that's the easiest way to approach it, is to start with the expenditures and like these are the cost elements, right?
Right, yeah.
So I think if we can do that, then that will be well on our way. I think once we get that ironed out, it'll be a lot easier for me to think about how we can manually put together an executive report. I had a meeting already on the calendar yesterday afternoon with Paul Cotterill and Doug Harris and Angela Parasino and whatnot, and Valentina. Also, we had some follow-up things we were talking through. So I talked to them and let them know that it's most likely, at least when we first go live, that they'll need to use InfoPath. So they know that. So.
Well, use what?
It's an older program. It's what we used to do before we were in Oracle. It's for their executive reporting. It's basically entering the inputs into a manually instead of having the computer spit it out. Because what Oracle is going to initially spit out is based on your statutory requirements, and they need it in GAAP. They need their executive reporting in GAAP.
Gotcha. Well, maybe Anton and Jerry will invent a miracle.
That's what we said. Yesterday they said they would invent a miracle. I'm just trying to give them a little bit of slack so it doesn't have to be on day one.
Well, I have a lot of belief in Anton and Jerry.
Yes, I have believed it will eventually get done. I'm just trying to give them a breather, setting expectations low, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So
Merrily, can you do me a favor? Just email me the reports that you'd like to see out of projects, and we'll go ahead.
Absolutely.
We'll run through that today.
I'll reply back to Ramsey's email and include all the reports and the additional things I think would be good as an extension or follow up of this meeting. And then his other point, we talked about it yesterday about statutory versus GAAP. Joy and Chrissy are flying back from Norway today, but I'll get a meeting on the calendar early next week to get a final resolution on that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
So
all right.
when guys we plan to have the next meeting next week?
So
I believe we have our recurring meeting set up on Tuesdays, and Maria, I can actually include you in on that.
Let's include Vika also, if you guys don't mind. That way she can start hearing about all this too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Vika is on this one, so yeah,
Yes.
I think it makes sense to include both of us, definitely.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, because Maria, what we were doing initially is we were starting to have some status meetings to kind of track the progress of our initial testing, to make sure that we call it a
Yeah,
smoke test.
Marilyn mentioned that, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, absolutely. I'll include you two on the meeting invite.
Great. Okay, again, guys, very sorry. I'm embarrassed I overslept today. Hopefully you guys had a productive conversation before I got on without all my interruptions. So,
No problem.
I think it went well.
Nice.
Thank you, Anton. It was really demonstrative. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hmm.
all right. Thanks, guys. I'll ping you later, Anton, to see if I can get a copy of the beginning of the call.
Yes, okay.